Well, Hell in a Cell was not an eventful event, no pun intended, and it was a pretty bad show to be honest, because the last two WWE pay-per-views, that was WrestleMania and WrestleMania Backlash, were really good, but this one disappointed. But the next one is going to have fans back, and it is going to be Money in the Bank. WWE is apparently planning big plans when crowds return, and I am very excited for that because the product right now is very stale, and Money in the Bank being the highly energetic event that it is, that it can actually change everything. WWE can be actually good again. But there lies a problem. WWE has forgotten how to do Money in the Bank because the last two people who won the briefcase were not able to cash it in. Asuka got the championship instead of the briefcase, and Otis, well, he lost the briefcase to Miz. I mean, that's pretty stupid. And the Miz actually cashed in the contract and lost the championship a week later, so I guess what the hell. Baron Corbin was not a good winner of the contract. The first women's Money in the Bank was basically James Ellsworth because he was the one who took down the contract. It's very weird. But this year there are a lot of people who should win the contract, and let's run down 10 names, 5 male and 5 female, who should win Money in the Bank 2021. Let's go. Number 5 from the female side, Eva Marie or Piper Niven, whichever way you want to see it. I love the gimmick between Eva Marie and Piper Niven right now. It is pretty much perfect. Eva Marie has basically brainwashed Piper Niven into thinking that now she is wrestling as Eva Marie, so she is incredibly successful. Of course, I've only seen this gimmick only once, so I don't know if this week they'll absolutely ruin it, but I think that if Piper Niven becomes Miss Money in the Bank, but it is announced that Eva Marie is actually Money in the Bank because she was fighting as Eva Marie, and Eva Marie becomes the Raw Women's Champion later, this can be very good because I think this gimmick will work if they use it correctly. It's a heel gimmick, absolutely. Piper Niven does look like a little bit of an idiot when you think about it, but well, they're planning on naming her Dewdrop, so she's obviously that's obviously idiotic name. But Piper Niven absolutely winning the contract and giving it to Eva Marie will be fun at the very least. Next up, number 5 from the male side, Drew McIntyre. McIntyre just lost his championship opportunity to Bobby Lashley. He will not be able to cash in or have any matches for the championship while Lashley is the champion. This is very interesting because now Money in the Bank can serve as a potential loophole in the contract, and I personally think that this can be a very interesting, at the very least, a very interesting concept if you think about it. McIntyre can cash in, let's say at SummerSlam or a few days later, and then Bobby Lashley can say, no, you weren't supposed to be facing me for the championship, so you don't get the championship, and that is very interesting. I think if they develop it well enough, it can be very interesting to say the least. But the reason it's number 5 is because I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Drew in the top championship picture right now. He's had a year in the top championship picture, more than a year. So maybe it's time for him to retreat back to the US championship picture. I would love that. Number 4 from the female side, Bayley. I think Bayley is one of the most underappreciated women on the women's roster. She is absolutely amazing. She is a great worker, but her whole character is ha 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 ha, I can laugh, and it is bad because her character with the whole ding dong hello and the role model stuff was phenomenal. Giving her the contract actually allows you to make her into a superstar again. She has already won the contract once, and I think it would be really fun if she wins it again. Bayley can eventually cash in on Bianca Belair and win the title, and then a Sasha Bayley, Bianca Bayley, Sasha Bayley, Bianca feud are to come next, and I'm all in for that. Let's say Bianca versus Sasha happens at SummerSlam. Bianca wins. After the match, Bayley cashes in and wins the championship. That would be pretty good. From the male side, number 4, Cesaro. Cesaro is probably my pick for winning this year's contract. Not who I think they will do it, but I think he should win this. Because A, he was in the top championship picture for a fucking month. before he went back into his feud with Seth Rollins. Before that, he was also feuding with Seth Rollins, so it felt like he downgraded a little bit. A lot of people are saying that now is the time for him to go into the Intercontinental Championship picture, including myself, but knowing WWE, they're not going to do it. So it's very interesting. If they give him the Money in the Bank briefcase, he's immediately back into the main championship picture, and he looks like he might be the next champion. Everyone wants Cesaro to be the world champion, not necessarily beating Roman Reigns, but you get the point, right? Maybe he can go ahead and cash in on Bobby Lashley. That would be great. And I think Cesaro should win this year. I don't think he will, but if I had to pick, I would put him. In terms of an actual wrestler, I think he would be the best to put in that shoes of winning the entire thing. Number 3 from the women's side, Liv Morgan. Both of her tag team partners have been released in 2020 and 2021, so that leaves her as a singles wrestler. I swear to God, if she finds herself in another tag team, that's going to be the end of Liv Morgan. I don't want to see her again then. But if she becomes a singles wrestler and wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, now we're talking. Liv Morgan is very charismatic. She is really gorgeous and absolutely a very good wrestler. Maybe she's not 4 horsewoman level, but she's still pretty good. And I think she has everything it takes to be the top woman of her respective brand. What I think should happen is she should win the contract and eventually cash in on, let's say, Rhea Ripley or Bianca Belair. I don't really care. But she wins the championship, and since both of her tag team partners are gone, give her a pretty decent run with the top championship to make her into the next babyface of the top card. That would be pretty good. I think she will really resonate with the fans. Edge is my pick for number 3 from the male side. And Edge is obviously a problem whenever you see him around. He is the ultimate opportunist. He is who perfected the craft of Money in the Bank. If it wasn't for him, maybe Money in the Bank would not even be a success. I think Edge is probably one of the best Money in the Bank gimmick holders of all time. Probably the best behind Seth Rollins. But in my personal opinion, Edge winning this year can be very interesting, because Edge can, well, actually cash in on Roman Reigns and win the championship. I really wouldn't mind that. But also, Edge as the world champion is something we haven't seen from like a decade ago. That's really, really cool if we get an Edge World Championship run in 2021. Some people might say, oh, he's a part-timer. No, whenever he shows up, he stays for a long, long time. He goes away for a bit too, but he stays for a long time. If WWE is planning Edge to stay from, let's say, SummerSlam to Survivor Series, why not give him a World Championship picture run in the meantime? You can even trade Roman Reigns to Raw, because I think Roman versus Bobby Lashley for the World Championship can be a big money match too. Now my next 2 picks are actually from NXT, because I think 2 people who deserve to come up to the main roster and immediately become top stars are already ready on NXT, and they're not being used properly at all. From the women's side, number 2 pick, Toni Storm. One of my personal favorites from NXT. She is absolutely amazing in the ring. She is one of the best female wrestlers in WWE, and I personally think if you're talking about a gold standard in women's wrestling, she absolutely passes through it. Toni Storm has not been properly used ever in WWE. I don't even know if she was ever the NXT UK champion, but I'm pretty sure she has never been the NXT women's champion, and that's not good. But I think Toni Storm should be called up to the main roster. She's not doing anything on NXT, and if we get her called up to the main roster, she can immediately become a top star. She has absolutely everything it takes. And I think a match between her, Toni Storm versus Bianca Belair, Toni Storm versus Sasha Banks, Toni Storm versus Bayley, Toni Storm versus Charlotte Flair, Toni Storm versus Asuka, all of these are very, very good matches, and I would love to see them. Also from NXT, my number 2 pick from the male side, Finn Balor. Now, Finn Balor is someone I absolutely love. His Prince Devitt gimmick, I think, is absolutely perfect. And by the way, I'm making a Finn Balor booking video from 2021 to 2022, so get subscribed to watch that. I think he should be called up to the main roster very soon, because I think he has done everything he can in NXT, and Finn Balor coming back to the main roster and immediately into the top championship picture would be great, and fucking hell, I would have him beat Bobby Lashley for the championship. Not even in question. Finn Balor has that sort of a history with Bobby Lashley, I believe, and Finn Balor would be absolutely perfect for dethroning Bobby Lashley, and he can even form another club or become a tag team with AJ Styles. All of that I explore in my fantasy booking video. And my top pick for winning the Money in the Bank briefcase from the women's side is none other than the boss herself, Sasha Banks. We have not seen Sasha Banks on SmackDown ever since the night or the SmackDown after WrestleMania 37, I guess, and her coming back and immediately winning the Money in the Bank briefcase is very interesting. I think that would work really well, and I think she should absolutely just cash in the contract that night immediately on Bianca Belair and win the championship, setting up Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks 2 on SummerSlam, where Bianca wins again, let's say. But I think that Sasha Banks has done almost everything she can in WWE except win Money in the Bank. I also consider Charlotte, but I don't think Charlotte should win Money in the Bank. She is already pushed enough. But Sasha Banks is one of the potential stars of SmackDown, and her immediately coming back and immediately winning the Money in the Bank briefcase is very interesting, and I'm all for that. And of course, my number one pick for the males roster to win Money in the Bank in 2021 is Jey Uso. Of course it is. Everyone's talking about it. Jey Uso winning the Money in the Bank briefcase in 2021 with Roman Reigns as the champion adds so much to their story. It can also be Jimmy, but I would really appreciate if it is Jey Uso, because Jey has been Roman's henchman for like 6 months now, and personally, he's been very badly treated. He has been beaten up by Roman, he has been abused by Roman, he has been absolutely shat on by Roman, and he even had to fight his own brother for Roman. He and his brother don't get along. Roman now has another layer of annoyance to get through. He doesn't know if Jey Uso might cash in on him. So now he cannot talk to Jey Uso the way he used to, because now Jey Uso has something against him, that is the briefcase. There's always the threat that Jey Uso might cash it in on Roman and become the WWE Universal Champion. Taking that away from Roman, it's absolutely perfect. The pieces are in there, and this is what WWE might do this year, because Roman and everyone have control over the story, and it would be pretty much perfect if they do it. Should Jey become the champion? Now that's another story. I don't think he should. He should cash in the briefcase, but Jimmy causes him the match because Jimmy believed that Roman is the tribal chief and he's been now brainwashed, and that would be perfect. Setting up Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, that would be great. And absolutely, Jey Uso should win Money in the Bank briefcase in 2021. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments. Also be sure to let me know what you want to see next, and be sure to share, subscribe and like the video. That helps out a lot. You can't imagine how much it helps out the channel. This week I'll be bringing WWE Draft of 2021. It is a 25-minute video where I explain why I draft every single person on the WWE main roster, and to which brand and why, and what I would have them do next. You don't want to miss that, so if you want to see that, please do subscribe. And as always, follow me on Twitter at @NLB_YouTube. You may get a shout out at the beginning of the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.